We're talking about the fiscal cliff and what it's going to mean for the area. We're joined now by Jacqueline Castro, our Washington bureau chief. Jacqueline, basically, where do we stand now in the talks?
Well, right now there's no real evidence of progress. The president is in Pennsylvania trying to push his version, his plan for the fiscal cliff. Meanwhile, House Speaker John Boehner on Wednesday said he was optimistic. Then on Thursday said he was worried we might go over the cliff. Then Friday he actually said there's a stalemate. Let's not kid ourselves. That's an exact quote. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, we're not. I mean, there was a deal on the table. Now that's fizzled. Where do we stand with that?
Yeah, the president, the White House did hand down a deal Thursday night, late Thursday night. House Republicans basically laughed at that deal. It's very similar to what the president was talking about throughout the entire election. I have some details here. It's a total $4 trillion offer, $1.6 trillion in new taxes, $50 billion in new spending, and cutting $400 billion from Medicare and entitlements. That's, of course, just part of this plan. What House Republicans are saying about this is that while the president is talking about raising taxes for some people and cutting some spending, he's not giving any indication of exactly where he wants to cut this spending. Basically, in that offer, it says, oh, we'll deal with this next year. And House Republicans are not happy about that.
But the Republicans presumably are not going to go along with any tax increase, are they? Are you hearing that maybe they might be?
That's a tough question to answer because there are some Republicans that have said they might be willing to do that. I can tell you that I've talked to more than 15 members of Congress in the past 2 weeks on the fiscal cliff. Sit-down interviews where this was the only issue we talked about, and I could not get a single member of Congress to basically say to me that they knew what was going to be inside of this plan. They all pointed to the president and said they're waiting for leadership, John Boehner and the president, to get together and work on this. So Republicans are afraid to talk about, raising taxes, and Democrats, some of them are afraid to talk about cutting entitlement spending. They want to wait as long as they can until this deal actually comes out, something that might be negotiated before they make those kinds of decisions. But there's going to be have to be some sort of leeway on each side in order to get this done.
In our last 20 seconds, what is your gut feeling telling you? Will this be done by Christmas?
That's another tough question to answer. I would like to say yes, but let's look at what Congress has done in the past. Of course, they have let other types of bills like this go until the very last minute. And we talk about the deficit, when we talk about, the government basically stopping work in 2011. There are some members that say they think we can get this done by then. But again, the House Speaker said that he says there's a stalemate right now. So there's really no way of telling. A lot of the things that are inside what might become this piece of legislation are things that happen on a rolling basis. So some people would argue that it really doesn't need to get done by Christmas, but I'm sure most people at home don't feel that way.
And that is the feeling here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. 13 ABC's Washington bureau chief Jacqueline Castro, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for joining us on Conklin Company. Lee will be back next week. I'm Sean Hegarty. Thank you very much for joining us.